everybody. Welcome to the Saturday Chat. This is Dave. I'm Ashley of SugarLimeBlue, chatting about our song for tomorrow's Sunday shout out.
Chatting about our song.
Which is our choice of song, I guess.
Our choice of song.
Which is
Gillian Welch.
Orphan Girl.
Orphan Girl.
Again.
Actually, so I got reminded of this song in an indirect way. Because last week we did...
Somebody's Knocking.
Somebody's Knocking. And we're taking a break from requests. We do have a bunch more requests lined up, though, so make sure you tune back in and keep the requests coming.
Yes.
And looking forward to doing some of those, but we wanted to get and redo this one. Originally, the song last week, Somebody's Knocking, it has the line, I don't want to do wrong, which reminded me of I want to do right, but not right now. Like that line from Gillian Welch's Miss Ohio.
Yes.
However, we've redone that one fairly recently, like in the past year. So...
Since we've been doing chats.
Got to thinking about Gillian Welch, especially since we had played at the Blue Door.
Yes.
Where Gillian Welch and Dave Rawlings had also played.
And they're coming to Nashville.
And they're coming to Nashville.
I think it's like this weekend or something. Yeah.
But yeah,
well,
so
playing in Nashville.
Roundabout way got here. Yeah. And
they were on the front of the mind.
Yeah, they were on the front of the mind, so it's easy to think about them. And also, we've been wanting to play the song as a duo for a little while. So good chance to
brush up on
it up, bring it back in, give it some cosmic cowgirl.
Yeah.
And you got Cow Kitty in your lap, I see.
Yeah, it's Janet. Yep.
So, like, I was reading a review about the song. First of all, before we get to the song itself, it is the song itself, but it was produced by T-Bone Burnett.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you're familiar with him. I know that you've probably heard his name, but also he produced the album Raising Sand by Alison Krauss.
Which I love.
And Robert Plant.
Yep.
So he kind of has a certain feel to his music, very earthy and grounded. So maybe we should get him to do one of ours and add some cosmic to it.
Especially if we do an acoustic album, which we've been talking about doing.
Yeah, could always do that. That'd be fun.
Because I know that
we have to write for it, though, specifically.
With Alison Krauss and Dave Rawlings, they had curated this acoustic duo sound, and it came really naturally to them with their harmonies and their joint guitar playing and whatnot. And they had been advised by several people to join a band, do a band, have a band, bigger, more. And they were both like, meh.
Right.
And so when it came time to release her debut album, or to record her debut album, Revival, they wanted to stay true to the sound that they had created. And T-Bone Burnett was willing to not just keep that sound, but to really enhance and work with that's the sound in mind. Cool. So, and I think that's the hallmark of an excellent producer is that they are able to catch a hold of the vision that the artist is casting and put some sparkle on it, make it shine.
Put it into stereo.
Yeah, make it shine and help pull from the artist, because the thing is, we can all have a dream, right? But not have the capacity to see that dream through to the end.
Sometimes
or to see the dream complete or in its wholeness. You can have a piece of it, but not the whole bit of it. And that producer helps pull that art from the artist.
I liken it to the saying that you can't see past the end of your own nose. Like, I kind of feel that way sometimes as an artist. Like, I start to lose sense of what I think's good and what's not good.
Right.
You know, and it's like it all just becomes, well, it's all
muddled.
It's all good or it's all mediocre. It's never like, it's hard to find the outstanding or maybe the stuff that could be improved.
I do think as an artist, too, one becomes self-conscious of one's own art. And we all suffer from some form of imposter syndrome and can't believe we're living the dream that we dreamed.
Right. Like, yeah, right. So, or you don't deserve it or something of that nature.
Something. Like those thoughts, those intrusive thoughts creep in on all of us. And I think artists especially, because our careers are either revered or reviled in the same community.
Yeah.
So if you have achieved a specific level of success, then you are revered. You have fame, you have fortune, you have all the things that humans desire in life along those lines, right? But if you haven't, there's a certain looking down the nose. Oh, well, this is your hobby. Mm-hmm. This is your cute little thing that you're doing on the side. Or do you actually make a living doing this kind of a thing? So not necessarily anything with malice intended, but a disbelief that is echoing the imposter syndrome in our own brain.
Well, it's funny because I've heard different things throughout our career, right? Like, and through my career. So it used to be like, the whole thing used to be like, you think that one day you can make a living out of this or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then, when we were touring very heavily with the full band, mm-hmm. I would get a lot of people that would come up to us, and I took it as a compliment because they would say, obviously you guys do this full time. Mm-hmm. And we weren't.
We weren't at the time, yeah.
We weren't, mm-hmm. like it was not financially feasible. Mm-mm. It's hard. And now we are doing it as a full time,
mm-hmm. And sometimes it's still not financially feasible.
Sometimes it's still not financially feasible. But,
but a lot of times it is, and that's a beautiful thing.
I appreciate it when it comes as a, obviously you guys are full-time musicians.
Yes. Yeah.
Or
it hits a little different.
There was also the comment, along that lines that I always appreciated was, how come I don't know about you guys? Mm-hmm. I always thought that was a good compliment.
Or why aren't you guys famous?
I like the compliments that don't mean them necessarily as a compliment but they're just trying to find out.
Genuine questions.
They're genuine questions that I take complimentary because of the position we're in.
Yes.
So back to the song Orphan Girl.
Yes.
So I have a thing I want to go into, but first I wanted to say that she did an interview shortly after the song and album came out, and I think this was on her first album, right?
It was actually the first song on her first album.
Right. So she did a song with Pace Magazine. I'm going to read you a quote from that in a minute, and I want to get your reaction.
An interview with them?
Yeah, an interview with Gillian Welch. Okay. But the Pace Magazine writer said that a lot of her vocal stylings, and we've talked about this before, come out of Appalachia.
Yes.
And they said that this song in particular felt like it could have been written about Appalachia. Also,
I read that. Yeah.
So,
come from that place.
Come from that place, right?
It could have been a folk tune.
I read a really interesting quote. So this is from Gillian Welch.
Okay.
And it's about the writing of Orphan Girl, and I want to see how. It's about the way that she writes songs, and this is from the Pace Magazine, just to give them credit, and her credit because it's her quote. And I want to see if the way that she feels about songwriting.
I think I read this quote, actually. Okay. Go on.
Is the way you feel about songwriting. Read to me, babe. So she says, when I wrote Orphan Girl, I didn't realize that it was autobiographical because I'm not an orphan. I'm just adopted. But I didn't realize when I started this song called Orphan Girl, it's so easy to look at and go, oh, that's her story. Well, it is, but I wasn't setting out to do that. I don't even know what I am doing. It's kind of like the song is a dream. You have the dream and you don't realize that you know exactly what it's about until you're telling someone the next day. That's what songs are like. I don't realize that I know exactly what it's about until it's done.
Yeah, I did read that quote.
So, yeah.
I really enjoy her introspection on it. And
I liked how she said the song is like a dream and she don't really know what it's about. But then the next day she realizes that she knows exactly what it's about.
Well, there's sometimes I feel similarly, not necessarily that I don't know what it's about, but it's like a dream I had where I'm from the inside of a different character. Mm-hmm. I'm playing a different part. I'm playing a different role, a different human being. And so I write songs from the perspective of other people's stories in that way. So it's like instead of having the experience myself, for instance, Gypsy River, it's about an abused person that has lost a parent and eventually goes on to an implied murder. I have suffered none of these things. I have both of my parents. I have not been abused and also did not do any murder, implied or otherwise. So this is a character, but I saw her story so very clearly and the thing is, you wrote most of the lyrics for Gypsy River. Yeah, it's not that I did. We wrote them together. Yes. We write most songs together, but the whole intent of the song was from you. You are neither woman, abused, lost a parent, or made murder either. So it's like, in that way, it's the dream of another person's story. And I don't even know if this story is somebody's experience for real.
You see that, and sometimes when you are telling the story of somebody else, sometimes you're like, oh wait, like I can see how somebody would think this is about me.
I've actually had people approach me in that way, and not for Gypsy River, but for songs like I Didn't Mean to Kill You or Troublesome Man. Like, oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. And I'm like, no, you don't, because it's not for anyone. Like, it's not me. It's not my perspective. Or for Didn't Mean to Kill You, that one is so symbolic that it takes the story. You have to understand the story of my perspective when writing a lot of those lyrics. So again, no murder has happened.
Quick aside, and I don't want to discuss it like a lot today because it's getting off track.
We're going to talk about it, but not talk about it.
I always pictured Didn't Mean to Kill You as like, this is going to be an introspective. But for me, I relate it to ego, like killing your ego.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Not my perspective on it at all.
Like that's how I take it when I listen to it.
We will wait to tell the story until we do that one, which we do originals on here too. So
we're going to be probably launching
maybe even doing a whole series. Yeah.
Exactly. So, well, thanks for sharing about your songs.
Yeah.
I know we talk about it sometimes, but it's nice for everybody else to hear too.
Well, sometimes we find, and we've talked about this at great length, I feel like at this point, that the story that we tell ourselves, we don't always communicate that with each other. So I find it endlessly fascinating.
Which is interesting because
to hear what your story is for our originals.
When we're talking about the lyrics, it's like we think they should go in different directions, but we're not sure why.
Okay.
Because we've got different stories.
And so far, and I'll say this, like so far as to the spelling of one of the words of one of the song titles of one of our originals. On the album, it got Dave's spelling. But for me, it has a completely different spelling, which gives it a completely different meaning. So I'll leave that for another trivia day too.
Yeah, that sounds laying off the brakes if you want to hear and tell us what you think, what it means. So you can check it out. Yep. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys, like everything really. Like, when did you hear about Gillian Welch and Dave Rawlings? Have you heard the song before? Did you enjoy it? Check out our version tomorrow. Yeah. Check out the songs that we mentioned of ours and let us know what you think of those.
As always, thank you for joining us for our Saturday chat. Chime in on our chat section or over on the Sunday shout out, or both. We appreciate all the comments. It does help boost algorithmic movement. So
much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good week.
See you next week.